Albertans agonizing over registry wait times.
It's taking longer. Of course, there are additional steps.
Navigating the province's new integrated driver's license process.
Yeah, there's a lot on the market right now and a lot of opportunity.
Plus, a shifting housing market putting buyers in the driver's seat. And Banff's legendary Bruin captured on a Buffalo Berries feast.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla DiGiuseppe.
Good afternoon. Albertans are reporting painfully long waits at registries across the province as new integrated driver's licenses and identification cards roll out. Tim Brooke joins us from one of those registries. Tim, this problem has been persisting for more than a month now.
Well, Camilla, these new cards became available on July 2nd, and as you can imagine, that's essentially when these long wait times started to take hold. Most urban registries that we've been to over the last few weeks have reported extremely long lines, sometimes even out of the business door, as Albertans go to renew or apply for a new driver's license or an ID card. Now, many of the issues here, as you can imagine, stem from customers not bringing in the right required documentation. The new cards have citizenship status and health information on them, so the rules have changed. You now have to show proof you're legally allowed to be in Canada using a document like a passport, birth certificate, PR card, or citizenship certificate. You'll also need photo ID and your existing paper healthcare card.
We're not surprised. This is a new process. And we're hearing from Albertans that it's taking longer. Of course, there are additional steps. Short-term pain for long-term gain, because once you have that citizenship marker on the front, it's going to be there forever, and it's going to offer you the convenience in the future when you're applying for these benefits.
Now, there is a 60-day grace period for those who are unable to get all the proper documentation in order when they need to renew or apply for one of these cards. But to apply and request one of those 60-day grace periods, well, you guessed it. You need to come back to one of these registries in person, stand in line, talk with an agent, and eventually, Cam, pay a fee.
All right, Tim. Thank you so much. Alberta's police watchdog is providing an update on the police shooting at a Bridlewood home last Thursday. At around 2 a.m. on July 30th, Calgary police responded to reports of a man firing a bow and arrow in the backyard. He was not supposed to be at the residence or be in possession of a weapon. ASERT says officers asked the man repeatedly to come out unarmed. When he did, ASERT says he motioned towards the officers with the bow and arrow. That's when members released their service dog, fired a less lethal impact weapon before discharging a service pistol. Although critically injured, the man is now in stable condition. ASERT's probe is ongoing. Calgary police have charged Danny Martin with several weapons offenses. A Calgary member of parliament has started a petition to expand emergency alerts for vulnerable children. It follows calls for changes after the death of 11-year-old Parker Wells, who wandered away from his day home. There was no sign of abduction, so his disappearance did not meet the requirements for an Amber Alert. An exception was eventually made for the autistic nonverbal boy 2 full days after his disappearance. The MP for Calgary Nose Hill, Michelle Rempel-Gardner, started the petition, which people can sign online. It also calls for first responders to get training about children with intellectual and developmental disabilities. RCMP are asking for help finding a missing senior from Crossfield. Ray Robuski's family says he had a dentist appointment in Calgary yesterday morning but never arrived. The 84-year-old is believed to be driving a silver GMC Sierra. Anyone who has seen him or may know where he is asked to contact Airdrie RCMP. The Calgary Fire Department has responded to a total of 3 lithium battery fires in a 24-hour period. At about 3:30 this morning, firefighters responded to a warehouse in the North Dufferin Industrial Park in the southeast. Investigators think the fire was due to lithium-ion batteries accidentally left in boxes getting crushed in the compactor. Moments later in Saddle Ridge, a fire started in a basement suite. It sparked from an electric scooter that was plugged in. No one was hurt, but but a cat was rescued from the home. These fires followed another lithium battery fire we first told you about yesterday. In that one, smoke filled a garage where an e-scooter was plugged in. Fire officials say lithium batteries should be unplugged once they reach 100%. The provincial government is trying to reassure Albertans about its push to become a major hub for data centers. There's growing pushback because of concerns about water use, emissions, noise, and having to pay more for utilities. The province is trying to ease those worries by saying data centers will receive no public subsidies and water use will require provincial approvals. It also says the grid operator can refuse connections that could threaten reliability. The province's rationale can be found in a new online information hub. There will also be a series of town halls in communities already earmarked for large data centers. Calgarians have a chance to weigh in on a proposed increase to their natural gas bills. Currently, the monthly franchise fee is based on a fixed rate of just over $3 per gigajoule of gas consumed. Starting in January, the city wants to increase that to over $5 per gigajoule, which would mean an extra $2.45 per month on your bill. The city says the money goes towards its operating budget and funding services Calgarians rely on. You have until August 25th to share your thoughts through the city's website. The feedback will be part of the application to the Alberta Utilities Commission, which has final say over the proposed change. Ground has broken for two new neighborhood projects in the city's southeast. The Hollands and Halstead neighborhoods cover 133 acres along Stony Trail just south of 16th Avenue. When complete, they will provide a mix of low, medium, and high-density homes and reconstructed wetlands. It's estimated the neighborhoods will have 1,500 properties.
I think it's a great opportunity to give people choice in Calgary, in the east side of Calgary. 4 different product types that'll come into here, and it gives people options that they need.
The Truman Homes and Ryco Properties neighborhoods will start welcoming residents by the middle of next year. Meanwhile, new data shows Calgary's housing market is shifting towards buyers. Tommy Osborne joins us from Alpine Park in the southwest. Tommy, that's a new community attracting first-time home buyers.
That's right, Camilla. This is one of many neighborhoods in Calgary that is quickly developing. And new data shows that 97% of neighborhoods in the city with at least 5 home sales are in underbidding territory. Now, that doesn't mean that 97% of all homes are in that underbidding territory. But if you are underbidding, you're going to be saving on average around $10,000. Throw in a 1% price drop across all Calgary units year over year, and the federal government's elimination of GST for first-time home buyers, and you've got ideal conditions for new homeowners. Supply is also increasing, with more than 20,000 homes being built in Calgary this year. When you put that all together, you have some first-time homeowners buying a townhouse listed at around $500,000 for $50,000 less.
With the market kind of shifting a little bit, yeah, there was a good price available for me, and yeah, there's a lot on the market right now and a lot of opportunity, especially if you're a new home buyer.
This is a supply story. This is an example, and we see this in other cities across the world, frankly, where you do get a building boom, and then afterwards you could call it affordability.
Condos are the main factor in driving these prices down, as they remain the most popular unit to build not just in Calgary, but the entire country. Camilla?
All right, Tommy, thank you so very much. Let's bring in our Danielle Savoni. Their first look at the weather. Couldn't be happier today. I was out on the patio enjoying a nice brunch.
I know, I like your little jacket.
Yeah.
The sunshine jacket.
I was inspired by the weather.
The flowers, the sunshine. Yeah, I really hope that you as well took some time to enjoy it, because things are going to be very different through the weekend and mainly next week. All right, this live shot is not the best live shot. It's a bit darker than it actually is. So air quality is good right now in the city. Yes, if you look in the distance, it certainly is hazy. 24 degrees right now. We have good air quality. The sun is out. Things are stable. And for much of the day tomorrow, it will be nice as well. We're looking at a daytime high with some heat once again. Air quality health index, though, might start to get into that more moderate level. We may even peak at high. There is the potential because we are getting this push of air from the west and southwest, which is where the fires are. Another key thing is by 5, 6 o'clock in the city, we get into a decent chance of the risk of thunderstorms or at least some showers. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Family-owned, community-driven. Discover more at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen.
Thank you very much, Danielle. Still to come, it was a feast for the eyes and lens for one photographer, capturing Banff's iconic Bruin chomping down on a favorite treat. And quadruple the blessing. A Calgary couple welcomes not 1, but 4 newborns. If you want to impress the boss, what is the best way to do it? Fresh berries, of course. The legendary grizzly known as the Boss was spotted feasting on buffalo berries in Banff National Park on August 5th. The pictures were taken from the safety of a vehicle so as to not disturb him. He and other bears are trying to put on as much weight as possible before winter hibernation, and each can gobble up 200,000 berries per day. The dominant patriarch has ruled the Bow Valley for decades as the biggest bear in the region. He is getting older, though, reaching the ripe old age of about 28. Parks Canada staff sedated him in May for a checkup and found that he is losing some teeth but is otherwise healthy. The International Monarch Butterfly Monitoring Blitz is underway. Albertans can take part too. People across North America are encouraged to look for milkweed. That's the only plant where monarch butterflies lay their eggs. Participants are encouraged to inspect milkweed not only for eggs but also caterpillars and the hard shells they use when turning into butterflies. Monarchs are an endangered species, and the Blitz helps environmental groups compile valuable data.
This International Monarch Monitoring Blitz is a way to get a handle on the population and where this species is occurring. So the distribution of the monarch across all of North America, essentially, so that we can help inform or have informed decisions on the conservation and decisions around, managing the monarch habitat, but as well as managing the population as well.
To take part, you can make an account at iNaturalist Canada and then head outside to start looking. The Blitz runs until the end of Sunday. All these beautiful pictures, the monarchs and the boss chomping down on buffalo berries. And this weekend, it's going to change up a bit for us.
Yeah, so I think it looks like we're still going to have some nice weather throughout much of the day. For Saturday, potentially parts of Sunday. But it's definitely a different weather pattern. And this means risk of thunderstorms most evenings once again. This means much cooler temperatures. In fact, we'll be below normal for most of next week. You saw by that live shot there, it does look hazy in the distance. We are starting to get some smoke starting to creep into the city. That's going to be the case on and off for the next few days as well, that's for sure, because we definitely have poor air quality all along the mountains right now. We'll talk more about smoke in just a second. 24, that's a normal daytime high for this time of year, and that is the temperature and daytime high for Calgary, so right where we should be. 27 is the temperature right now in Lethbridge and over in Medicine Hat, 29 in Milk River. So certainly a lot of warmth today, but all communities will really start to cool down over the coming days and certainly next week. All right, so when you look along the border here, the BC border, this is where we have a yellow level air quality warning. And this is Pincher Creek, Crosness Pass, up through Kananaskis, Banff, through Lake Louise as well. On the BC side is where the air quality is even poorer, and that's why they have the orange level warning. So, for example, Cranbrook ranging from a 9 to a 10 plus on that air quality health index over these next 12 to 24 hours. And right along the mountains, so Banff, Kananaskis, down to Pincher Creek, Crosness Pass, certainly at that higher risk level at times. Now for Calgary, we're a low risk right now at the airport. We're starting to have that smokier air filter in through the west side, putting us at moderate in some parts of the city, and will likely remain at moderate for the most part in the city, but at times we may fluctuate up to high risk as well. Just to look at the fires burning in southern BC, in Washington state, and you can see that flow. We're going to get that flow to the west and southwest over the coming days. Now the winds will be light for the next 24 hours, so it likely won't drag in that high risk level of smoke too much into the city, but at times it will likely get a little bit smoky, certainly moderate level. And at times when those winds pick up over the next few days, we may bump up to high risk. Okay, nothing going on with regards to active weather in the city right now. It's quiet. All the active weather up to the north, taking a ride on the jet stream, but that jet stream is going to slump south. As you can see here by the lighter orange, that's going to slump down. Jet stream is a storm track. That's going to bring in some active weather, rainfall, thunderstorms, and it'll drag in a cooler air mass as well. Just looking at tomorrow nice in this throughout much of the day. We will have some cloudy periods at times, and then by about 5 o'clock, Airdrie is when we get into the risk of thunderstorms, and then about 6, 7 o'clock is when we get into the risk of that for Calgary. And then that opens the gate for this to be a risk every single day for the next 5 days. This is your 5-day forecast brought to you by Centra Install Pros, your window and door replacement specialist. 24 degrees is our high for tomorrow. I know the graphic earlier in the show said 27, 24 for tomorrow, 22 for Sunday, 20 for Monday. So you can see that gradual decline, and much of next week will be daytime highs in the teens, and heavy rain Tuesday and Wednesday certainly possible for those 2 days, 20+ millimeters of rain.
A Calgary couple dreamed of having a baby, but after years of fertility struggles, it's safe to say they now have their hands full.
So cute. Mama loves you so much.
David and Lola Oluluale are now parents to quadruplets. The 2 boys and 2 girls arrived May 7th at Foothills Medical Center. Josiah, Joshua, Jemima, and Joanna were born prematurely at 29 weeks and spent up to 83 days in the NICU before all coming home. The couple says their IVF journey involved multiple attempts and thousands of dollars, including a failed Calgary treatment that totaled about $25,000. They eventually traveled to Nigeria for a $5,000 procedure where 2 embryos split. Their first baby scan came as a major surprise.
I said, oh, how 3 car seats in this economy? How am I going to manage? And then he went on and said, oh, sorry, madam, I'm sorry to tell you this. I think you would need 4 car seats, not 3. There's another one hiding behind the 3.
The family says costs add up quickly, with the quads going through a full can of formula and 24 diapers every day. A GoFundMe has since been launched to help with expenses. While their story renews calls for IVF funding in Alberta, where standard treatments are not publicly covered, the province says it recognizes the costs can be significant and is exploring options to better support families. Congratulations. Just ahead, you can call it Canada's summer surge, the nation's latest job numbers even surprising economists, and how Alberta plays into the mix. The latest job numbers surprising economists. Joining me is Faisal Karmali, portfolio manager with the Popwich Karmali Advisory Group. So Faisal, how does Alberta compare to the rest of the country?
Yeah, let's start with a surprise first, how the economists pretty much got it all wrong. They were expecting an increase of only 15,000 jobs in Canada. 75,000 came out of it. And when you talk about Alberta, be surprised about this one as well. Royal Bank came up with the numbers for Alberta and saw a 79,000 job increase for the whole year in Alberta, #1 in the country overall. And you'd think, well, it's Alberta. Energy's been doing well. It should be the oil patch that's been hiring. Well, that's not the case. It wasn't the oil patch that was hiring. It was healthcare, social assistance, and public accounting that was really helping the overall numbers. In fact, almost 79,000 jobs just came from that, in part-time and full-time as well. And that makes now Alberta the #1 employer for healthcare and social assistance programs in the nation.
All right. And Faisal, let's look at how the markets did this week.
Overall, both Canada, U.S. doing very well. We saw Canada up 3%, slightly close to 3% was the U.S. Dow Jones, and the surprise winner was the Canadian dollar, up 1.7%.
All right, the impressive numbers to end the week, and have a happy weekend.
You as well. Take care.
Long lines continue at Alberta Registries. Here's Alicia Fieldberg with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Camilla, it's taking people a lot longer to renew their licenses because of recent changes made by the province. Coming up at 6, one Calgarian shares the roadblocks they encountered trying to renew a driver's license. Plus, what the province has to say about growing frustrations. Also ahead, a concerning number of drownings in Alberta this summer. Coming up at 6, how this year compares to last. Plus, safety measures you should take if you're planning to be around water. Camilla.
All right, Alicia, thank you. A one-day show on Saturday is filling a gap in militaria collecting. The Calgary Militaria show brings vendors in to collect, sell, and display military artifacts, regardless of nation, dating back to the Boer War in the 19th century. The Militaria show has been held for 10 years and is the only one west of Ontario. The show's organizer says vendors will bring in pieces that are very rare to find.
You can have regardless of whatever nation's military it is, see a type of something or actually see an item where I've only seen it behind glass in a museum. I've never seen one in the flesh. Well, there's one here that you can get.
The Calgary Militaria show runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Deerfoot Inn and Casino. Well, that smoke is starting to move in, as Danielle mentioned earlier, but it's still sunny, still sitting at 24 degrees. That haze covering the city right now. Details next. If I want to go outside this weekend, plan outdoor plans, what do I do? When is it the best time to do it?
All right, so in Calgary specifically, up until about 5 o'clock tomorrow, we should have nice weather. Okay. It may be cloudy at times, and we're at least going to be at moderate on the Air Quality Health Index through the day tomorrow, and at times we could pop up to high. So we're looking at ranging between basically 5 and 6 on that Air Quality Health Index, so that's moderate, but if we pop to 7, that's high. You can already see the distance, what's on the way towards us. Now the winds are calm, so it's taking its time for that smoke to work its way in. 24 degrees is the high today, 24 degrees is the high for tomorrow, 22 for Sunday, 20 for Monday. So we're starting our slow decline in temperatures with the risk of thunderstorms each day, especially by the supper hours.
Danielle, thank you so much. Our city is hosting Design Week Calgary with close to 30 events this weekend celebrating creativity. Organizers of the event say the festival is for professionals, but also students and the public to learn more about Calgary's design community. This is the second year for the event that saw more than 3,000 visitors last year. The theme this year is In Tune, that explores the relationships between people and the spaces that surround them and how design impacts everyday life.
Design Talks, which is the organization that puts on Design Week Calgary, our mandate as a charity is to educate the public on the value and impacts of good design. And so this is really our very public offering to showcase and to highlight and to inspire and delight and wonder of design and what design means.
Organizers say there are a number of events this weekend for people to take part in, from nature walks to tours of manufacturing facilities. We've posted more information about the festival on our website. So much to do this weekend. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Here's the early edition of the CTV National News.